Now, throughout the 20th century, and I'm old enough to actually have perfect memories of the Den. And the Den was a place, and I remember I was very impressed by this when I first came from Cuba, was a place that actually had bad wood paneling, what now came to call Texture 111, discarded furniture, sports equipment on the floor that didn't have to be picked up, a television set, and probably some dead animals on the wall and so forth. And that was clearly a place that was, for me, male space. Male space. Over the years, that male space, essentially that budget, and it happened within my own architectural career, that budget has been reallocated to the family room, which is family space, and the behavior is different. And then the family room is only becomes effectively male space during the Super Bowl week. During the Super Bowl, in which you can actually see the guys actually get into their warrior stance. They're able to stand up and yell, and actually a certain type of food emerges that's not healthy, you know, beer, etc. And if you want to see the transformation of space for a very limited amount of time, Super Bowl transforms the family room into male space. There was always, however, the garage. And the garage was a crude, as you can see time and time again in Sandy's slides and in fact in your own lives, the garage was a place that where, in fact, men could do their thing. And I'm going to actually identify a few of those things that are the phenomena of male space. But over the years, the male space has been eliminated by, first of all, the sheetrocking of the garage. The builders, instead of delivering the garages in studs, now sheetrock and paint the garage. And you will also see an emergent industry of storage. Have you seen all the new garage storage? You neaten the garage. And I have seen men that essentially have been neutered. And you can see them. I have an ad that I need to find of a garage with this poor neutered guy standing by his wife, and all his stuff is in cabinets. Completely insidious, these plastic cheap cabinets where everything gets put away. And of course, the end of it is that now homeowners association documents habitually force you to close the garage door. The garage door must be closed unless the car is being pulled in or out, which of course takes the light away from the garage, and that has been the end of male space. And this is when, of course, you know, the crisis begins, and it catalyzes the New Urbanist campaign for male space. Now, what is male space? Because it may not be what you think. And we have actually, in the manner of the New Urbanism, we've actually launched this into the internet, and I have pages and pages of notes. I'm going to read a few to you. Okay, and this may surprise you. Male space, and it'll surprise you, women are welcome in male space. Absolutely welcome. It's just the terms of discourse are this, in which the men are not factually corrected when they exaggerate. And there's a deep need for male conversation that has to do when hunting, and the one that got away. What is not fully understood is how necessary it is for us to improve the story, to amuse each other. And as you know, it happens to me, and it may happen to me tonight, in which you'll know the people that will correct me factually are not going to be the guys. The second definition is when I've said this already, but where the enthusiasms of Super Bowl day are unchecked year-round. Okay? Here's an important one. Where wet dogs can lie on the carpet. Fundamental test. Another one. Where activity need not have a defined purpose. Okay. Do you realize the importance of taking things apart that do not need to be taken apart? Do you know that the secret of the Harley Davidson, as opposed to the Japanese motorcycle, is that the Harley Davidson, every part can be upgraded. So there is constant reason to take it apart and change every part. Those Japanese that understand nothing of male space actually give you all the good parts from the beginning. And you never see a Japanese motorcycle taken apart. And that's where the magic of the Harley comes in. Okay, where order is not dependent on neatness, but on convenience. And you will see how things lie around. And it's not a visual sense of neatness, it has to do with reaching. And it has to do with being reminded to do this or that. Things do not put back neatness. On a serious proposition, and to show how important this is, when we worked after Hurricane Andrew, and we were designing housing for Latin Americans that had been, actually, they were the ones in the trailer parks, in the agricultural trailer parks, and we went out to study how they lived, we came to realize that the reason that Latin men, this is a certain class, are always out on the sidewalks, or were in that case, out on the sidewalks, hanging around, and actually disconcerting people who are not Latin men. What are they doing out there, all these men on the sidewalk, was that the kitchen is considered female space. And these people, and in mobile homes, the kitchens are open. They're open to the rest of the living and dining room, and therefore the men could not be indoors, because the entire indoor, other than the bedroom, had become female space, and they were uncomfortable. And so when we designed new units for them, we either separated the kitchen where the females could be so the guys could be indoors, or we created indoor spaces for guys so they could be indoors. So it actually does matter on a functional level. Now if you, by the way, here's an interesting one. Just a few of the many, and this is from Sandy, where the tools are more interesting than what gets made with them. And Sandy maintains that the obsession that male photographers have is primarily with cameras rather than what is actually produced with them, and only the females are really great photographers. There is one here which is very interesting by the daughter of Anne Daigle, who says it's where the toilet seat remains up. And she put it this way: learn to work the toilet seat. This is a guy speaking. You're a big girl. If it's up, put it down. We need it up. You need it down. You don't hear us complaining about you leaving it down. The great Diane Duany. Male space and ventilation, very important. Male space along the transepts. How do you decorate it? I think that T2, which of course is rural, male space involves barn and animals. Animals not necessarily alive. While T6, male space involves mirrors. Among the many others, she says, interesting concepts to be pursued: group male space, individual male space, etc. The one thing that has emerged, before I show you slides in this, that is actually serious, there is not an absence of male space in American society, because there's a lot of it in public. The streets are gritty, there are many clubs, there are barbershops, etc. There is an absence of male space in new urbanist communities. We're actually speaking about a new urbanist phenomenon. We are too neat. And it is actually the new urbanist critics who say we are too neat. Okay, there's an absence of public space. However, all over America, new urbanists or not, there is a clear decline of male space, of domestic male space in the house. And this is being manipulated by, I'm going to eventually show you an ad. This is all very difficult to do. Let me show you this little thing that Macintosh made automatically.